Welcome dear learners. So, today we are at the 60th lecture of this module and this is the last lecture of this 12-week course of the fundamentals of economics and financial markets. See, we have discussed many things in public finance, be it taxation, expenditure and debt. When we were discussing debt, an important concept arose that one of the purpose of debt is to finance budgetary deficit. At that time, I gave you a brief idea of what deficit is. But now, let us discuss what actually deficit means, and we will be discussing deficit specifically with the relation to India, since we are discussing more towards Indian economy. So, let us start with our discussion on deficit. The topic covered today would include meaning and concepts of deficits, fiscal consolidation and measures that can be undertaken, that have been rather undertaken by the Indian government. See, fiscal policy, which includes taxation, expenditure, debts, disinvestment, has a key role in determining. Monetary policy also holds important, but fiscal policy also has a key role in determining an economic's growth path. Macroeconomic performances, while they impact country's fiscal position, in turn they are also affected by the fiscal scenario. Not only the variables have an impact on this, but fiscal tools do also have an impact on various variables. So, high growth, what we are talking of, contributes to fiscal consolidation. How? Through improved taxation, lower requirements of social expenditure, reduction in deficits, acceleration of economic growth. Thus, consolidation holds an important position along with deficit. With respect to India specifically, if we discuss, see, as soon as the word deficit comes to our mind, deficit means expenditure is more than income, that is deficit. But I will give you the example of India. In India, there are various and different concepts of deficit. As mentioned, gross fiscal deficit, net fiscal deficit, revenue deficit, effective revenue deficit, primary deficit, gross primary deficit, net primary deficit. Till 97-98, I will just give you an idea of this, although other concepts I will be discussing and how these variables of deficit, these concepts of deficit have moved in India. But till 97-98, the two other concepts which were vogue in India were conventional deficit and monetized deficit. Just a brief idea of what is conventional deficit and what is monetized deficit. See, conventional deficit is, at that time, was the difference between receipts and expenditure, both on capital and revenue. See, in the earlier lectures, we have discussed what is capital and revenue. When we talk of capital and revenue account of the government, we say, to be very simple, I will say that revenue account is that account through which income and expenditure, revenue and expenditure of recurring nature is managed, of recurring nature occurs. Recurring nature means day-to-day expenditures, day-to-day income of on a regular basis what the government is receiving as revenue and what government is expending. While as capital is concerned, capital is long-term account that further leads to creation of capital, leads to creation of assets, like if an expenditure is in infrastructure, it is capital expenditure. So, conventional deficit basically meant is what? Total expenditure. When we talk of deficit D, it is basically total expenditure minus total revenue, which includes both capital and revenue receipts, both revenue receipts and revenue expenditure. So, total expenditure would include capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, total receipts, revenues will include capital receipts and revenue receipts. Then was monetized deficit. Monetized deficit was the increase in RBI credit to the central government. That means central government gets loan from the RBI through issuing treasury bills, which may be 91 days treasury bills. So, when the credit of the RBI to the central government increase, that means increasing net holdings of the treasury bills of RBI and its contribution to the market borrowing of the government, then it is called monetized deficit, specific to RBI and government. Howsoever, this concept of total deficit or budgetary deficit, that is total expenditure minus total revenue, was not very specific and not very prompt that could be discussed or very appropriate that gives the wholesome picture of the deficit scenario in an economy. So, the Indian government, the public authorities described and presented various concepts of deficit which will help to analyze more specifically the trends in the variable, the position of the economy, the deficit scenario of the economy, the deficit position of the economy in a better way. So, quickly we will discuss the different concepts of deficit. The first and foremost is gross fiscal deficit, GFD. It is total expenditure minus. Now, we are not taking revenue receipts, total revenue receipts, but it would include, the revenue part would include revenue receipts in the form of tax and non-tax revenue, recovery of loan. If we talk of center and state government, if the central government is taking loans, public debt, then it is also giving loans to the state, to the people. That loan would also be recovered. So, recoveries, not only that is also revenue to the government. So, recovery of loan and any other kind of recovery, that would constitute the revenue side in gross fiscal deficit. So, GFD is total expenditure minus revenue receipts, recoveries of loan and other recoveries. More specific concept than the budgetary deficit. Then was net fiscal deficit. That included GFD, gross fiscal deficit minus center's own lending. Because see, gross fiscal deficit is calculated, but center is also lending. As I told you, it is not only taking debt but also giving debts, also lending. So, that amount is not expenditure. For that amount, the government is receiving interest as well as the principal amount will be recovered at the maturity. So, if from gross fiscal deficit center's own lending is minus, we reduce, then net fiscal deficit concept is prominent. Another was gross primary deficit. When from gross fiscal deficit we reduce interest payments. It is the primary deficit which the government is witnessing, because interest payments is a regular, whenever the government is taking loan, the interest are being paid. Another concept was of net primary deficit. That means from the net fiscal deficit, net interest payments, interest payment done and interest payment received, difference of that would be net interest payment, that is net primary deficit. Revenue deficit was also a concern. That means expenditure that is of revenue nature minus revenue receipts. See, if you collect the data for the expenditure of the government since 1991, what you will see is that when we talk of revenue expenditure and capital expenditure, the revenue expenditure was increasing at a very fast pace than capital expenditure. All the burnt was borne by the capital expenditure, and that was a worry to the government, because revenue expenditure increasing means that the revenue expenditures are more than revenue receipts. Recurring expenditure is much high, day to day payments are much more. So, that needs to be controlled, and the measures have been undertaken by the government. So, revenue deficit is specifically revenue expenditure minus revenue receipts. Then was primary revenue deficit. That means revenue deficit minus interest payment gives you primary revenue deficit. Another concept that came was of effective revenue deficit, When from revenue deficit, grants from creation of capital assets is subtracted, any grant, see government not only gives loan, but grants also to the state, to the other, to finance any developmental project. The government gives grants, intergovernment grants are also there. So, grants for creation of assets, when that is taken out, that is subtracted from the revenue deficit, it is called effective revenue deficit. So, this is the various concepts of deficit, these were the various concepts of deficit. And critics, the interesting thing is that although the concepts of deficit was given with the idea that a more clear picture of the economy's deficit scenario would be portrayed in front of the people, but few criticize that this is nothing else but window dressing, describing dividing different items of deficit just to give a window dressing concept. However, these concepts hold importance. Now, it is clear that deficit was going on. So, when the deficit incurs, an important policy that needs to be taken care of is the policy of fiscal consolidation. Now, let us learn what is fiscal consolidation. See, fisc is very clear when we talk of fisc, F-I-S-C, it is treasure. Now, how the income and expenditure needs to be consolidated? In general, what is fiscal consolidation? So, fiscal consolidation aims at restructuring revenue and expenditure to put the budget back at a sustainable price. That means, if the expenditures are more than the revenue, we are continuously incurring a deficit budget. So, consolidation aims is to manage, to restructure the revenue and expenditure so that the budget hits back its sustainable path. Objective is reached by, how this objective is reached? By reviewing existing policies. If the revenue is not able to back up the expenditure with equality, that means there are some lacuna in the policies. So, a review of the policies is required. Certain reforms, structural reforms, major changes, streamlining the administrative process, more stringent administrative process, and devising new ways of public service delivery mechanism, so that on one end the expenditure can be managed, on the other end the revenue can be raised without having any harmful effects. So, in other words, if the government efforts to reduce budget deficit and stabilize the debts related to the size of the economy is termed as fiscal consolidation. Basically involves combination of increasing revenue, as I was discussing, and reducing spending to achieve suitable fiscal position. Thus, fiscal consolidation is very important to maintain investors' confidence in the government, because government is delivering its fiscal responsibilities, reduce the risk of financial crisis, and free up the resource for other priorities. If disguised condition is there and too many resources are employed in one position and they are not fully utilized, then restructuring, reformation, reviewing the policy would definitely make the available resources have a better utilization in infrastructure, in healthcare, in education especially. So, fiscal consolidation basically includes policy review, existing review, sectoral reform plans, different sectors, especially taxation and expenditure, and how can this be implemented, these sectoral reforms, how can the consolidation plan be implemented. So, it is a brief view of what fiscal consolidation constitutes. Thus, policy review is the process which consists of questioning the way policies are designed, implemented, and how public services are delivered. This would include structural reforms, policy reforms, and process reforms. That means all the process through which the taxation policy is working, the expenditure policy is working, the debt policy is working, that needs a few reforms, and even the process of implementation might need to be changed. That constitute the fiscal reform. So, the main strategies of fiscal reform would include what? Reducing government spending. It is very difficult although. Public expenditure, easy to increase but not very easy to reduce, because there are various committed liabilities to the public authorities which cannot be reduced so easily. But efforts should be made to manage the government spendings. Tax revenue, another an important question, because designing an optimum tax structure is a challenge to the government. Improving the efficiency of public services and implementing structural reforms to boost growth of the fiscal institution, so that you can adhere to the fiscal discipline. See, not only expenditure should be managed, not only taxation should be managed, but administration, adhering to that fiscal discipline, to the policies, to the rules, to the regulation becomes very important. So, this includes fiscal consolidation. These were the few challenges which any nation's government can witness. As I told you, economic downturn result from reduced spending. It is not easy to reduce public expenditure so easily. Downturn can happen. Consensus on tax increase, achieving the new tax tolerance limit is another challenge. Any kind of crisis situation leading to unexpected expenditure or any kind of external shocks. In view of this, the fiscal consolidation needs to be taken place. When we talk of India, this would help you to understand what the Indian government has done for fiscal consolidation. To give you an idea, you have studied the stochastic variables, non-stochastic variables, then you have studied how the hypothesis is done, then trend analysis can be done. So, just give you an idea what has been the deficit scenario in India, what are the deficit indicators, the values of deficit indicators, and what reforms have been taken by government, so that you understand the deficit position and the reforms and the concept of fiscal consolidation. Quickly we will discuss this. See, the data clearly says, if I take from 1991 to 2003, the gross fiscal deficit, that means out of 13 years, 12 years have shown a higher than the budgetary estimate. See, when the budget is presented, just to give you an idea, when you see the figures, many times it is written BE, many times it is written RE. BE stands for budgeted estimates, RE stands for revised estimate. See, when 24-25 budget was presented, all the figures, because budget is presented before the beginning of the financial year, all the figures are budgeted estimates. In the future, what will the expected revenue, what are the estimated expenditures, these are all BE. After the budget has run, then the government on various parameters revise these estimates. Those are the revised estimates. And basically the revised estimates also help us to understand the picture or the accountability or the performance of the budget of the government. So, in 24-25, you must have, when you have listened to the budget, you must have seen that 23-24 BE was presented, 23-24 RE was presented, and 24-25 BE was presented. So, three figures were presented. So, the earlier financial year figures help us to analyze the performance of the government in a black and white form. So, it was seen that the budgeted estimates, these figures were higher than the budgeted estimates. That means what? The deficit was growing, and the government was quite worrisome for this deficit. So, government did what? Apart from taking various expenditure and taxation norms, an FRBM Act was there, that is the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act was passed and came into force from July 5, 2004 along with the FRBM rules to improve the fiscal aggregates. One of the methods that government undertook to consolidate. So, see, these figures clearly indicate that the deficit was increasing in India. To manage this deficit, one consolidation method what government took was of fiscal reforms was of FRBM Act. Howsoever, see, from 2004 to 2008, this act performed very well as a measure of consolidation. But again, a worrisome situation arose, the Lehman Brothers crisis, which you know we have discussed a slight of Lehman Brothers crisis when we were dealing with the section of inflation. What this crisis did was, revenue deficit to gross fiscal deficit ratio increased from 41.4 in 2007-8 to 75.7. Imagine how fast the revenue deficit grew. An alarming situation for the government. Howsoever, the government has published various ratios in 12-13 to 15-16. Because of fiscal consolidation, there has been a position of repair by the government. The consolidation measures had helped the government. For this consolidation measure, what Indian government took was passing of Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act, tax reforms both in direct and indirect taxes, expenditure management, reducing the debt, our external debts are less, interest payments should be reduced, subsidies are reduced, raising resources through disinvestment. Disinvestment or divestment we say. Divestment or disinvestment basically means dilution of the equity. What we see, public-private partnership model, our equity is liquidated, the public sector undertakings which were sick, which were not performing well, private investors were called, so public-private partnership firms were developed, the companies were developed to have a positive impact on these units. First was the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act as a consolidation measure. It came on the recommendation of E.S. Sharma Committee. In December 2000, the E.S. Sharma Committee proposed FRBM Act. The FRBM, after this recommendation, there was of Parliamentary Standing Committee of the Finance, a revised bill in 2003 was introduced. And after the passing of bill in Lok Sabha and in Rajya Sabha, this act came into force from July 5th, 2004. And you know, the deficit scenario was worrisome. So, FRBM came as a watershed in fiscal reforms. Watershed means sprinkling. When a floor is dry, it is because of heat. A watershed helps to give a relaxation way. So, fiscal reforms, under fiscal reforms, FRBM was served as a watershed. So, basically what FRBM stipulated was, for reduction of fiscal deficit, revenue deficit specifically, contingent liabilities and total liabilities. So, debt burden should be reduced, deficit should be reviewed, specifically revenue deficit. That was the basic purpose of FRBM Act. Along with this Act, FRBM rules were also given, because in rules the changes can be made easily than Act. The objective was to introduce transparent fiscal management system, more equitable and manageable distribution of debt and fiscal stability for India in the long run. Quickly we will see, the Act came through medium term fiscal policy statements which have a rolling target. Fiscal policy strategy statement was also given, a document for key fiscal measures and evaluation of how proposed policies of the central government conform to the fiscal management. A macroeconomic framework strategy was also given for GDP growth analysis, revenue balances, and a medium term expenditure statement was also given via section 6A of the Act to present a 3-year rolling target of the prescribed expenditure indicators. Thus, the main aim of FRBM was to strictly adhere to the fiscal discipline, and this Act worked also. However, after Lehman Brothers crisis, the subprime crisis, the indicators again started to show a growing tendency. See, for your reference, these are the recent indicators of the central government of few years 13, 14, 15, 16, 20, 21, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24 and 24, 25 BE. The source of data includes Economic Survey and Indian Public Finance Statistics, and the figures what you will see. This will help you to analyze the trend in the deficit indicators, and you will see that the figures in the bracket, the percentages mentioned in the bracket in fiscal deficit, effective revenue and primary deficit indicate the position of deficit as a percentage of GDP. See, figures in the parenthesis are percentage of GDP. So, what is happening? Because of fiscal consolidation measures, the deficit have been managed. You will see that as a percentage of GDP, the deficits or different concepts of deficits like primary deficit is showing a reduction, and maximum the deficit was high. See, when we talk of fiscal deficit, the deficit was high in the year 2021 when COVID was there. It was much far away from the targeted indicators. However, this is an exception situation for the deficit. These are the few measures undertaken by the government in recent past. Like in response to COVID-19, government took several fiscal measures which were aimed at long-term benefits, more transparent, efficient and taxpayer-friendly administration. It was done by use of technology. Now, if we see, to be simple, if we are to file our ITR, what happens is administration is good enough, technology is there, it is easy, it is convenience, it is more friendly to us. So, we do not run away from that. Faceless assessment is there, faceless appeal, taxpayer character, etc. have been easily gone. The recent budget has given a big leg up to capital investment, that is the worrisome was revenue deficit. So, the government is trying and has successfully tried to increase the capital expenditure so that further creation of capital can be generated. It gave a push to the private sector while tax relief to the individual and middle class. So, the share of expenditure in total budget has increased from 11.4 to 22.3 in 2023-24. So, what is happening? These are the few consolidation measures that has been undertaken by the government. Further steps to bring more people into the tax net. More and more people should come into the tax net so that the revenue receipt from the tax can be increased. Incentives are given so that people do not evade the tax, they religiously and pay the taxes as a responsible citizens. The union government of the union budget of 24-25, what government has done? It has reduced tax for foreign companies so that the investments are there. Personal tax proposals have encouraged taxpayers towards adoption of new tax regime to simplify compliance and increase more disposable income. So, these steps can be taken as, these are the few steps that has been taken by the Indian government for consolidation measures and manage the deficit. The question for today is, explain the concept of fiscal deficit and how can consolidation measures help to control deficit in an economy. So, hope you must have understood. These are the suggested readings. So, learners, this was the last lecture in the module of fundamentals of economics and financial market. In this module, I hope you have learned the fundamentals, the basics of economics, which included money, which included macroeconomics, which included public finance, 3 important areas, along with few statistical techniques, as well as running of banks, financial markets, SEBI, NSE, BSE. So, this course perhaps must have given you a complete package to give you a basic understanding and idea of economics and financial markets. So, hope you must have enjoyed this course, you must have learned this from this course. So, learners, thank you.